I'm John. Hello. um, the type of games that I mostly focus on when we go hunting are GameCube games, PS2 games, PS1 games, and sometimes SNES games.
I'm Mike, and when we go hunting, I mostly try to focus on like Sega games. But lately, it seems like all I've been getting is Game Boy games, or like the old school Game Boy in color.
All right, so what are you thinking about looking for today?
Well, my brother wants me to get Adventure Island for him for the NES, so hopefully we can find that.
What are you looking for specifically? Anything?
N64 games, and hopefully a fantastic N64 that we go.
Volo Antique Mall.
You have
Mike?
any tickets?
No.
Oh.
Mike's never been here. Hopefully we can find something.
Hopefully.
My aunt used to have this thing. It used to scare the shit out of me. All right, let's see. What am I going to be looking for today? Probably like some Super Nintendo games, and I really want to find some Dreamcast games, but I don't ever really find any Dreamcast games when we're out and about.
It was all like really like old school things. There was like stuff from like the Atari and like systems that I probably don't even know. And then we went to like this up like these like this wooden ramp, and it was like really creaky, and I thought I was gonna fall through. And then we got to like this bigger area where there was like more like antique stuff and just like little like plots of just areas where you can like kind of explore and like dig through. And I think that's where you had found your Xbox game. Place looks janky.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So at first I was just like, man, this place kind of looks janky, kind of looks like suspicious. Like when you were taking like videos like outside of it, I was joking that your friends at school are gonna think that like you hang out in like shady areas. And once we got inside, it looked really familiar. It felt just like it did at 7 Mile. Like everything is in just like their own little stands. There's like those like fruit places that like make fruit juice and like fruit cocktails and stuff like that, and just like random shops and like nuances. They sold pets there and like parakeets, those annoying little bastards. And yeah, we got to see like one pretty cool stand where it had like a lot of gaming stuff. And so first thing when I walked up, I was like, holy crap, because there was just like a whole wall or like it was like a whole half wall that's just full of like N64 games, and I was going through them just like game by game by game, by row by row by row, and it was just a lot of tedious looking. And the guy was kind of quiet. He was just talking to like an individual customer who just seemed to like grab his attention. They were just talking about like things that they've sold and things that they've collected. So while they were vibing, like we were looking around. On the outside of the stand, there was a big wall that had like PS2 games, Xbox games, and they had like some of the newer stuff from like PS4 and Xbox One and PS3 and even. So once you got into the stand, on like the left-hand wall, there was some Nintendo games and some SNES games. That's where I was able to find my brother's Adventure Island, and I found Wario Land 2. One of my things off my list.
Wario Land 2, and I got my brother's game, Adventure Island.
So I asked my brother why he was so interested in Adventure Island, because I had never seen it before, like growing up and like in our house or anything. But my brother felt really nostalgic towards it because it was a game that him and some of my cousins, Nat and Joe, were like playing, and they would play it all the time growing up. So when he first saw it again for the first time, it was really exciting. He really wanted to get it, but everywhere that he was looking, he was finding it for like $35-$40. And the one time that I actually paid attention and I he found it for like what, 15, I think. So I think that was a heck of a steal. As far as Wario Land, I was never really like super into like all the Mario games. Like I played Mario 3, and once I got to the N64, which was like the console I probably played the most, I started playing like Super Mario or Mario World 64, and that's where I got my exposure to Mario. So I really liked Wario because he was more funny, and he was like, I don't know, I thought he was a badass at the time, so I just wanted to collect all things Wario.
All right, so we're here at Swap-o-rama. All right, so we didn't really catch him on camera just because he kind of felt hostile even when we first got there. But tell me about the guy when we found the Dr. Mario. What was that kind of experience like when we first walked up to him?
Oh, Mr. Grumpy Pants.
Yeah.
And these dang kids get off my lawn guy.
Mm-hmm.
That guy. Yeah, when we walked up, we saw he had like a little bin, and then even one underneath of SNES games stacked away. And you know, I was kind of going into his space to kind of pull out so I could see what the games are. And the dude kind of hit me with attitude and was all like, well, you know, I've had people all day pull it out and they didn't really get anything. And, you know, it's just like, all right, dude, like, you're in the freaking retail business. Like, people are not going to buy stuff all the time, you know? It's just part of it. So, and then, you know, he gave the attitude, but then he kind of warmed up a little bit. And he let us, you know, look through stuff. And then I found that he had a SNES game, and it was Tetris / Dr. Mario. And I was intrigued with that game, one, because I had never seen it out in a while, and number two, earlier in the gaming history, you don't see a lot of like 2-in-1s. I mean, it's definitely has happened before in the NES, but it just wasn't very common. So I was kind of like intrigued by it. But and then he offered like $32 at first, $32. Then he went down to like 27 and 25, and then like all super fast, you know, before I even get a word in. I was just like, like how much is this game even worth? I mean, like how is this guy going, you know, from one end to the other? So I just told the dude, yeah, I'll think about it, but we might be back, and yeah, we didn't come back.
Please go on. Oh
my Jesus! Every time we go to a flea market, we have to have churros. If all else fails, if we leave the place with nothing, we at least have to have a cherry-filled churro, or, you know, it doesn't have to be filled, you know, whatever, you know, I don't judge, whatever. Yeah, this was the first market that didn't have churros. So, will we be going back there? Sorry, dog. Yeah, nah, I don't think so.
Well, swap-o-rama was a bust. You can't win them all, though, I guess.
Oh, you cannot?
They didn't even have churros, though. That kind of pissed me off. What kind of place doesn't even have churros?
I forgot to tell you that when we walked in, if I saw churros. Like a flea market, that's like flea market must.
Yeah, it's Flea Market 101. If we don't come out with anything, at least we get churros at the end.
Exactly. I think what draws us to these flea markets and just randomly picking up our stuff and going to see what we can find is just to have that one moment where you get lucky and you get that, you know, that you find that gem that you were looking for, or maybe that you forgot about, that you hadn't been thinking about. We're going to Play It Retro in Berwyn. It's one of my favorite spots. I bought a placed PS1 translucent clear PS1 shelf. It's pretty dope.
Still hasn't put it together yet either.
I haven't, but there's also a PS1 Rival Schools. They got a physical copy here. I didn't get it last time. Probably won't get it this time, but damn, it's dope that they have it. So
We should get it this time, maybe.
yeah, maybe, kind of, sort of.
Probably won't, though.
Yeah, right. So Play It Retro is one of my favorite spots to go to. It's out in Berwyn, Illinois, so it's a little south of us. So it's a bit a ways from us. So we don't get to go there as often as I wish we could. But the amount of things that they have at the store is so dope. The guys that take care of the place, Manny, I think his name was, he's just really cool dude. You know, no old man attitude or nothing like that.
We saw a bunch of GameCube games on their back wall. They had some really good ones too. They were more towards like eBay, close to eBay prices. Can you talk on that? I mean, we were at a store, it wasn't a flea market. I just want to know your opinion on that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so this place, Play It Retro, is actually a storefront. It isn't part of a flea market where you can kind of haggle, kind of get away with stuff as easily. So, like, the whole experience and just like the vibe that you get from this place, kind of, you know, it makes me not like be so mad that they don't really go lower on their prices. I know, like, a lot of times if you pay cash, they won't charge you tax, which is, you know, it's something. But just like the overall things that they have and things I've bought. I've actually sold a few Funko Pops to them that I didn't want anymore, and they took them all the ones that I wanted to get rid of. So it's just like an all-around cool spot. I know they do like tabletop gaming for D&D and Pathfinder. They live way too far for me to be able to go and do that, but it's still all around a dope place. Would you be willing to like help us out on the deal a little bit? So we got 20,
35, and 30.
yeah, that's what was it, 70?
85, right?
85?
20.
Would you willing to let it go for like 70?
I don't know if I can do that.
You talk about how we kind of tried to haggle at the beginning. We kind of forgot where we were, and we tried to haggle, but it didn't really work out.
Yeah, so that exactly like I was saying before, like we tried to haggle. He was like, nah, but if you got cash, you can save on tax, and yeah, that's pretty much as far as they were willing to go. And they had some dope music playing in the background, some retro remixes that I was a big fan of. Okay.
Anything's wrong with anything? Bring it back.
What was that?
If anything's wrong with anything, bring it back.
For sure. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Alright. Here's your receipt.
Thank you.
All right, what do we end up getting?
All right, Play It Retro was a success. First, we got Street Volume 2. So for me, I'm not a sports guy at all. You will never see me talk about Madden or any of that shit. But this game was it's like tricks. It has a really polished, like hip hop inspired basketball game. Highly recommend. $20 with manual and disc. You very clean. I'm looking for this one for a while. Eric got Wario World. Yeah, boy.
That's one I wanted for a while too.
Yep. Got the manual and the disc is real clean. Very cool, very cool. This is one that's been on the list for a while. So this place that we just went to was really cool because they had a lot of stuff that I wanted, like no one, like a lot of places they have like, Madden 2001 through 2010, like 20 copies of each, like that no one wants. They had like at least three other games that I did want, but you can only do so much, so yeah.
Also thought I'd mention I got a pop socket for my phone. It's got that Super Mario Bros. 3, son. One of the best games of all time, still to this day. If you haven't played it, where the fuck you been? What would you say the purpose of us going game hunting?
Rehashing the past. Filling like a nostalgic void, I guess, from like our childhood that maybe we didn't get to fully experience because we weren't old enough to actually like grasp the situation.
Yeah, sometimes we couldn't really buy the games. We'd only be able to rent them. Now we're going back and.
Yeah, but I think that's also like a good thing because we would play like cheap games and we would play like games that like nobody has really heard of them because we would get like whatever we can get, and sometimes we find hidden gems.
Yep.